We talk about meaningful internships. So that's right. We don't want them just showing up on the job and doing, mindless work. We want them to have real experiences that set them up for a career in technology or other corporate roles. So we work really carefully with our partners on that and make sure that they understand the model. Our partners have all been, really good about that. When they understand what we're trying to accomplish, what we're working with our young people on, like they get it in most cases and want to be able to provide. And I think the scope of our internships, the fact that they work 20 hours a week all year long really does enable that, right? It's not like you're there for a couple months and by the time you get somebody trained up, they're going to be out the door. They have the full year. So even if it takes a few weeks to get a young professional trained up on what they're going to be needing to do, they have a full year to be able to kind of repay that training, if you will, right? To return that investment that the company might be making on them. So really, really important to us that our young professionals get that meaningful internships and the opportunity to learn, grow, and experience corporate work.
20 hours a week seems like a lot for your senior year of high school. How do you support the kids and make sure that they are set up for success as far as trained on how to present themselves in a professional environment and make sure that they're like showing up on time and that they're actually getting their work done?
Really important. And that is a big part of what summer training is. So they spend 8 weeks with us over the summer. And we go through a lot of that with them, how to engage, how to show up, how do you have performance conversations, how do you advocate for yourself, all those kinds of things. We really try to cover that in summer training so that they are positioned for success when they show up at the internship. And yeah, 20 hours a week is no joke. I mean, that's a lot of time, and it works best when we have good high school partners who give credit for that because they do have to leave high school early and they'll work 1 to 5 their senior year of high school.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So do you have high schools that you partner with that then if they're getting credit for this job, they maybe have a lighter workload, it sounds like?
Yeah, exactly. They can opt out of a couple of classes, leave school early to go to work.
That makes a lot of sense because I was thinking, if you have a full work day or a full school day and then you go in addition do 20 hours a week, that doesn't really leave a lot of time for like downtime or sports or extracurriculars. But it's good that schools see the value in this type of training.
Yeah.
And are you finding that being part of Genesys Works does give them an advantage when they're applying to colleges because now they've done this really cool program and they have this work experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a big focus of a lot of their college applications. And the other thing I will say is you're right. This is one of the biggest challenges of our program is that it doesn't work it's hard to be both an athlete or have a lot of other extracurriculars and do this. And that's okay. Like we're looking for those students who maybe aren't deeply engaged in other ways and need an opportunity to, do something different their senior year of high school.
Now, did I see that Genesys Works is actually rolling out some additional programming that's new?
Well, a couple things we're working on. I've talked a lot about our high school program. One way the Twin Cities has really innovated is providing more support to our college students. So, back when I was on the board, when Genesys Works was started, we would have said, we are a high school program. We help get our young professionals to college. And then we as a nonprofit, our job is done. And what we've realized over the last few years is our job is not done. Our mission is about career success. That's what we're trying to get our young people to achieve is that career success. And there's still a lot of barriers they experience between getting to college and getting that job. So Twin Cities over the last, actually, I would say 3 or 4 years has built up a lot more support for college students and then connecting all the way to that career support. So one of the things we have is a program called the Talent Development Pipeline. And that's for those young professionals that come through our high school program, but who are really committed to going into a career in business or technology. And we provide them services all the way through. We provide them, they kind of join our program all the way through college, and we continue to provide networking support, continued professional development and connections with employers, as well as opportunities for additional internship experiences. So that's been a big part of our innovation and evolution here in the Twin Cities, is really growing that support through after high school, through college, and into that career.
And have you launched that yet, or is that still in?
Oh yeah. So we've started that, like the talent development pipeline started. We're in our 4th year of that. The first couple of years were very small, but we've now grown. We added 70 new participants to our talent development pipeline this year, and we hope to do the same coming out of this year's high school class, or maybe even a little bit more. This year we placed, of those 370 young professionals we placed into interns, about 95 of them were college students. That's new and growing. A few years ago, you would have only seen us placing a few college students into internships, but now we're really looking for those opportunities to give them the continued experience to grow.
We've talked about the fact that 90% of the kids who go through this program go on to college, which is significantly higher than their counterparts in their communities who don't go through Genesys Works. What are some other impacts that you're seeing on these communities from the program?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've also talked about the real-time impact of getting paid, right? Like as a senior in high school, having that income, I think, has been really, really powerful. And since the Twin Cities was started in 2008, we've paid $26 million to interns. So that's the wages that our interns have made since 2008. So that's a big deal. Like that's money going out to young people and their families. That's a real important impact. I think the support for college is a big impact, and then the support to getting those careers and getting jobs that are well paying and set a young person up for really a lifetime of success. Those are the impacts we've really watched.
You said you stepped in as executive director in 2020. That was a momentous year for many of us for global issues. What was your experience changing careers into becoming an executive director for a nonprofit during a pandemic for an in-person based nonprofit?
Yeah. Well, we haven't been real in person. And this has been really both a challenge, but I think more of a success story for Genesys Works. So I joined I accepted the job at the end of 2020. So I missed a big portion of the pivot when they had to figure out how to do summer training online and then leading into internships that were mostly virtual. Last year, about 90% of our interns were virtual. And this year, we're only a little less than that. We have 20% this year who are on site full time, and the rest are hybrid or virtual. And what I was really pleased to learn as I started, like I say, at the very beginning of 2021, I was going out and talking with a lot of our corporate partners. How's it going? How are these virtual internships experiencing? And we got a lot of positive feedback. And we continue to get that feedback from both our corporate partners and the interns, that even though they are primarily virtual, they're still getting the mentoring they want. They're still getting the opportunity to do real work and to learn and grow. They're still able to learn about companies that they're working at. So, I think that's been huge. And had you asked me again, when I was on the board of Genesys Works, if that would work, I would have said, I don't think that would work, because the relationships are so core to our model. But the pandemic forced that, as they did at workplaces all over. And it's been working all right. And it comes with some real benefits. Transportation is one of the biggest challenges Genesys Works has always faced, because you have to get young people from wherever their high school is to wherever their job is. And that's not always easy if you don't have easy public transportation or reliable access to a car. And it can get expensive. Well, over the last couple of years, we haven't had to deal with that very much. Or similarly, like we'd always have a couple snow days where, nobody could work, nobody could make the money, right? They're missing opportunities. We don't have that anymore. If it's people are just working out of their homes. So there are some silver linings to that remote work that most of our interns are doing.